back to my channel and welcome to my 11-week baby update. I'm so excited to be nearing the end of the first trimester, and this being my first baby update, there's a lot to catch you all up on as far as symptoms and what's been going on, so I'm just going to get right into the video. So this week I thought we would just start with the baby. So this week the baby is the size of a plum, which is pretty substantial. I love the fact that it's, you know, not like when you're talking like blueberry and strawberry and all those raspberry, I always feel like there's not that much difference, and it's always, every week is a milestone, but when you start getting into the bigger fruit, I feel like it gets really exciting for me. So finally making some real progress. Baby is the size of a plum, which is 2.13 inches, and the weight is 0.49 ounces. And this is, I'm using the Pregnancy Plus app, which I highly recommend if you don't use it. If you are unfamiliar with it, it's fantastic. You get to see the baby, so I'll show you all. This is what the baby looks like this week. This is an 11-week baby, and it's so cool because you can move baby around. You can touch the baby. If you turn up the volume, you can hear the baby's heartbeat. I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can't hear it. And then I think it's really neat also, you can touch the thing that looks like a ruler. It's the measuring. And this is actually the actual size of the baby. Different websites, like what to expect when you're expecting, and different ones have different, like slightly different measurements and different weights, but they're so slight. And I like this one because I think it tends to be ever so slightly bigger, which I'm like, I'm gonna stick with that. It just makes me feel like, you know, we're a little bit further along, so I love it. So this is the 78th day of pregnancy, which is like, wow, okay, you know, we're getting somewhere. 28 weeks and 6 days left to go. So that feels pretty good. As far as the baby goes this week, I will get back down to that. The baby's liver and spleen are now producing blood cells, and the pancreas is beginning to release digestive enzymes. Your baby's liver accounts for 10% of the total weight, which is about half an ounce by now. The muscular system and nervous system are responding to each other, and your baby is now able to bend, stretch, kick, and even make faces. That's unbelievable. These movements are not occurring in response to any particular stimulation, but are occurring nevertheless. The sex of your baby is becoming more pronounced, and the kiddies are now producing urine from the amniotic fluid he or she ingests. Because your baby won't be using the lungs to breathe until birth, all the oxygen needed is coming from the placenta. So it's so cool that the baby's producing blood cells. Things are really starting to work, and at this point in the first trimester, everything that is really critical is pretty much formed. Really, it's more toward week 12 that things are not fully developed, but they are functioning, and then are just the crucial things are functioning, and then it's just about growing, and obviously there's a lot of growth yet to do, but all those critical things are in place and functioning well. So that is what a very, very exciting thing about being in the double digits of pregnancy finally. I always feel like the beginning of pregnancy takes so long, and then once I get to about weeks 15, 16, 17, and up into the 20s, then I feel like it just goes fast. And by the time you're in the mid-20s of pregnancy, I always feel like it's like snowballs. And before you know it, you're in 30s. And before you know it, baby's gonna be here. And it's like, oh my gosh. So it's like, it's painful to get to the, you know, to the, I don't know, 15, 20 week mark. For me, I'm just like, how big is baby today? So as far as me, I will get into that. So I had a doctor's visit. I'm so mad because I have new camera and new camera equipment, and I'm learning it. It just came, so I'm just getting familiar with it, and I took footage, and the footage was so blurry that I really couldn't use it. So I hate that I wasn't able to share that with you all. But I do have a photo of the baby. So this was baby at 10 weeks, 0 days. It's not a very good picture actually, but there he or she is. I saw some really good profiles. Sorry, it's adjusting. I saw some really good profiles of the baby and saw the baby moving a lot in there and its little heart beating. But unfortunately, the one that was captured really is not the best. But that's okay. There are worse things. I was just so happy to see the baby. The doctor's visit itself was really interesting because of COVID-19. Obviously, all their protocols and everything that was normal before that I'm used to with my previous 2 pregnancies was very different this time. It was great though. Everything was, I feel they're doing every precaution that is absolutely possible, so I felt that I was in really, really good hands. They're obviously, everything is spaced apart when you enter. They're taking your temperature, asking you various questions about where you've been, do you have any symptoms, that sort of thing. You're cleared with a sticker, and then you get to go back and go to proceed to your appointment, and all that stuff. But I will say I was hyper aware. Like when they said go ahead, have a seat, I was like, I took a pause because there was a part of me that I thought, so I just was on my phone for a minute, and I thought, I'm being over the top here, which I can be sometimes when it comes to germs and being cautious of stuff like that. I've always been like a little more on the cautious side of that. So anyway, but I did end up sitting down. I came to my senses. I was like, surely they're sanitizing, whatever, I can sit my booty down. But in any case, obviously I had to, pee in a cup first thing and then go to the doctor's. I'm lucky I have the same doctor that I did with both of my previous pregnancies, and I'm very familiar with him, so it's really great. I had a pap smear this time because I was due. I didn't realize. And I will say that I had a scare with it. It made me, that's the one negative that's really been going on for me this week that happened, was just that obviously after a pap smear it's normal to bleed. Light spotting for 1 to 2 days, typically not past the 48-hour mark, they said, which I didn't. But having the pap smear, and I asked him before he did, I said, is it safe for baby, for my pregnancy? He said, absolutely. He said, I would not do it if it wasn't safe. So I really have a lot of faith in him, so I, said, okay. But nonetheless, I wasn't comfortable with it, and it did make me nervous. I've never seen bleeding and to be clear, it wasn't like bright red, it was just like a light brownish color, light to medium brownish color, and then obviously it tapered and got lighter and lighter. But it just scared me, and yeah, so that was not fun. It really wasn't fun to see blood when you're pregnant. I feel like anytime if you, and some amount of bleeding for a lot of women is completely normal. And certainly after a pap smear to be expected, he warned me about it, but it's still just a little disconcerting. So that happened. But as I said, then I got to see the baby. He went ahead and did an ultrasound on my tummy, and we saw the baby, and baby was great. And then had all my blood work done, which was easy, and out the door, so it really wasn't too bad. The only thing that was a little bit difficult is Will, my husband, I had to travel, so we're about an hour away from the doctor now, hour and 15 minutes actually, and so I have to and there's no one to watch the girls, so I had to take the girls with me the hour and 15 minute trip, and then have Will meet me during work, and then sit in the car with the girls during that time. So the whole time I was just really nervous for him and hoping that the girls were okay, that I packed enough toys, enough snacks, enough like bad snacks. If I ever have to entertain my kiddos, I'm telling you, I pack donuts. I make sure that there's all sorts of like bribing stuff that I don't usually get to have. I just make sure that, if there's an emergency, we can just like give something cool and fun and exciting. So I packed a lot of that stuff, and he actually did end up using them, and they worked pretty well for most of the time. So I was pretty pleased with that. So the doctor's appointment was fine, all was good, and then like I said, I did end up calling the doctor about the bleeding, the nurse, and she reassured me that everything was okay, but if I wanted to come in, I could come in. And I actually opted not to. I just said, let's just see how it goes the rest of the day, and then by the next day it was done. And so I was like, I was really glad that I didn't go the hour and 15 minutes and, you know, just to have my concerns alleviated. So and as far as symptoms go this week, so obviously that was 10 weeks. This week I'm 11. So the symptoms, okay, I've got it written down. I should just use that. Let's see. So my symptoms this week, I'm just tired. That's been the case for me from the beginning. It's actually getting much better though. So I should say that's a symptom this week, but this is a positive thing as far as what's been going on. I feel that I'm definitely coming out of the slump. I was completely lethargic, so much more so than I have been in my previous pregnancies. I was blown away. I actually was wondering if I was pregnant with twins because I felt like I was pooching out. I felt like I was way more tired, just like on my butt tired. Like I would get up and I just felt like I had to lay down, and I've never been to that degree. And so yeah, that was really rough. And this week the tiredness has definitely eased up considerably, but it is still there. And it just hits me at different odd times, and some days are better than others, and some days are really rough. Frequent pee breaks. This is a rough one for me. I cannot believe how many times I have to go pee. It's all the time, all throughout the night, and I'm drinking water pretty well. I feel like I do try to drink, you know, as much as I can, but not excessively, because for some reason when I have a lot of waters, particularly at one time, I get a little bit nauseous, and so I try to have it with food and do other things to kind of do that, but I'm peeing a lot, and I so much so asked the doctor to just make sure, like, do I have any kind of like infection, or is everything okay? Am I, you know, and everything tested out fine. So it's just, he just said, yeah, no, that's a totally normal symptom, and it's okay that it's more so in this pregnancy. Every single pregnancy is different. So that is a new one. Sexy, vivid dreams. They are in full swing. I can always count on this during my pregnancies. Sexy dreams it's so funny to me, and not every dream is like a sexy dream, but definitely vivid dreams are almost every single night. And I'm surprised at, I mean, it'll be so real to me that when I wake up I'm just shocked, you know, that level of real. And then definitely sexy dreams. I keep telling Will that, you know, don't think too much into it. He's like, I'm not gonna ask anymore. So don't ask. You know the type, like, where it brings up like people from your past that you haven't thought about, that you didn't even like when you were like in the 6th grade or something, or when you were in high school. And it's like, and not like sex, but just like, you know, very, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Nausea in the evening. I'm still having nausea in the evening. It's interesting to me, I don't really have nausea during the day or morning, but as the evening progresses, like around 5, 6 o'clock, I start to get so nauseous. And that's another thing I haven't had in any other pregnancy. I mean, if I have, it'd be so slight, and this time to the point where my mouth is watering, but I have not actually gotten sick yet. So that's going on. Food aversions. I can't stand the smell of garlic. I cannot stand the smell of beef. Like, no, I can't take it. Even the thought of it right now. It's so bad. I've been a vegetarian off and on throughout my life. It's a little tricky for me because I've lived in different living situations where it was really hard. And Will loves to eat meat, you know, and so just try to cook for him, you know. But in any case, meat has always, I've had a love-hate relationship with cooking meat or eating it, and I usually kind of am very, very light on it, and definitely during this pregnancy it's like a no-go for now. Sensitive nipples while nursing. I'm nursing my daughter Amma, who is 16 months. She's still going strong. By this time, Eve had actually stopped nursing, so I had not nursed this far into pregnancy before. This is a first for me, and wow, it's surprisingly painful for me. I have read a lot about and heard about other women, and they're just fine. I haven't heard a lot of women talk about this, so I don't know if it's also that I mean, she has teeth, and she, you know, she sinks them in a bit, and I try to get her not to, you know, change positions and try to, but it is painful. But I definitely know though that they're just extra sensitive, so I'm trying to just get through it, because she is not anywhere near wanting to stop. So that's a fun one. Another great pregnancy symptom is I can now feel the baby bump. When I lie down, particularly in the morning when my bladder is full, the bump is pushed up higher, and so I can really feel, I mean, sometimes I almost think I can feel the baby because there's like a really hard spot, and then I start worrying, have I had enough liquid? Am I hydrated enough? Is there enough amniotic fluid? But every morning I feel that little bump, and it's just so exciting. And it's, even though I know the baby's in there, it's hard to imagine that there's just this tiny little precious person I'm gonna love so much, just, you know, alive. It's right there. I mean, it's almost mind-boggling, you know. I know that it's true, but I almost can't believe it. So it's just such a fun thing to be able to really feel the baby, and I feel like the more that I do, the more things become real. And then one other pregnancy symptom I always leave out is, it's so bizarre to me, but my nose, when I'm pregnant, gets so swollen, like really swollen. Just the membranes in the back of my throat, I feel so swollen. And Will has been saying to me, like, my voice is lower, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's, you know, it's like, and sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and my voice almost feels like it's, I mean, so low, so much lower, almost like an octave difference. And I don't know how much is due to pregnancy, or I think it also may be allergens that I'm experiencing where we live now. It's a little different for me, and I do know that I'm definitely extra irritated, but I think the two on top of each other are throwing me a bit. So that's a fun one that I am sure will only get worse. So if you hear me some days and I sound like an old frog, please forgive me, but that's probably why. So that is it. Those are all the updates for this week in my pregnancy. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and also the bell notification so you are notified every time I upload a video. We are going to get familiar with our new camera equipment. We're going to be doing vlogs and morning routines and evening routines and mommy makeup, mommy hair, all kinds of fun stuff that I'm excited to share with you all. A few hacks here and there that I've been trying lately that I'm really excited about, that are making my life a lot easier, especially during quarantine. So anyway, I will see you all next week for another pregnancy update. They will be weekly. Also, I wanted to ask you all, if you think that weekly is too often, or are you into it? So let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye. So I almost forgot to throw in a bum shot, so I'm just gonna do that. So this is baby from the side. Obviously in jeans you can't really tell, although these are really good jeans because they're super stretchy. But I will just pull them down a bit, because the truth is the baby bump is still so low. That, yeah, oh, you can really see it from this side. Oops, sorry, I'm not the best with these bump shots. I gotta work on it. But yep, that's the baby bump so far. Getting somewhere. Oh, it's so exciting.